The second type of energy resources is the renewable energy resources. From the name, it can renew or can redo or does not run out. That's why it is called the renewable energy resources. Most of the time, the energy resources are referred to be clean energy, and we're going to see why do we call them as clean energy. Let us see the types of renewable energy resources. First one, we have solar energy, or the energy which comes from the sun, hydropower energy, or the energy coming from the usage of water, wind energy, the usage of wind, geothermal energy, which means the usage of the land or the soil or the layers of the earth, which has their own heat. We use the hot water, in fact, and the steam we're going to see. And the last one, which is the biomass energy. In fact, this is is a really important one and is being used lately. It's trying to be used, in fact. Okay, if we could go on one by one. How do we use solar energy? We know that the solar energy is the energy which comes from the sun and is converted into electrical energy most of the times, but as well into thermal energy. If you have ever heard about the solar panels, they do use these energy from the sun or the solar energy in order to produce electricity, or we do heat our water at our homes by using these solar panels, or the indoor uses, other indoor uses, or commercial uses or industrial uses. If we could go on with the other type of energy or renewable energy resources, is the water energy or the hydropower energy. What happens? The energy is converted from the flowing water to the electricity. There exist those transformers or the generators that do convert the water into the energy that we need, or electricity most of the time. And the other hand, we have the geothermal energy. In fact, geothermal, from the word geo, which means earth, geothermal, the energy from the heat from the earth, is the energy which is, or the heat, which is obtained or taken by the subsurface or the under surfaces of the layers of the earth. And the one which carries the energy is the water or the steam. Okay, if you see in here at the pictures, we have the hot water. If we do inject a well in order to collect this hot water, they do use to cool it down, or they use the steam of the hot water in order to move these turbines of the generator on the geothermal power plants or the stations that do use it. And this is how we get a good thing, or we get the energy from the earth, the subsurface of the earth. And at the last, the biomass energy. In fact, we should understand what is biomass itself. Biomass is the organic material, or which comes from the plants and animals, and of course it is a renewable source of energy. Biomass energy, in fact, is the energy which is collected or generated or produced by living or once living organisms. Okay, that's why it is called biomass. And the most common biomass materials used for energy are plants, such as the corn and the soy plant. In order to get this kind of energy, The energy from these organisms can be burned to create heat or to convert it into electricity. Now, we know that plants do absorb the energy from the sun by the process of photosynthesis. And when the biomass or the plant itself is burned, the chemical energy in the biomass is released or is converted into heat, okay? And we do form those biofuels, not anymore fossil fuels, but biofuels, which leads us to the clean energy, okay, which does not emit those harmful gases. And we have here some examples of biomass and how are they used. So the burned, the wood and the processing wastes of the wood, which are burned to generate electricity, or the agricultural crops, or the yards, animal manure, and human sewage. All these ones are used to produce that clean energy or renewable energy, okay? And at the last, the wind energy, which is from the name, we can easily understand it. It describes the process by which the wind is used to generate electricity. These, they do use those special equipments, which are called wind turbines, that do convert the kinetic energy or the movement, the energy which moves into in the wind into mechanical or power into electricity, okay? So we do get electricity from the wind, okay? All these ones that we mentioned, so wind energy, solar energy, biomass energy, hydropower energy, these ones are called clean energy because they are eco-friendly. They do not pollute the air. That's why we call them as clean energy, okay? But in fact, they are a little bit expensive to be used, which can be one of the disadvantages.